Before recording this episode, I had to truly take a deep breath and pause and think about of the things that I really want to talk about breakup. Now that it had progressed, the love that we are talking about, your romantic love, now that it had progressed, one of the endings that it can get would be leading to a breakup. And we just have to be honest about it because that's real. We don't talk so much about breakup as we talk about every other single portion of love because it's scary. Who wants to be breaking up with anyone or who wants a good thing to end? But hey, we need to talk about that. So let's decapitate that and talk about breakup. This is the third part of the three series talk or episodes that we have for romantic love. So we finally get an ending, at least one of them. And my name is Lee. This is the Decapitated Thoughts. Let's get on our episode for today. Going through some of the articles online, when you look for why do people break up, usually they would tell you because somebody cheated, it was a loss of trust, too much fighting, um, fell out of love, and no one's putting in any effort. I think people break up because we've become too lenient to become honest with the other person. You know, you're looking for something to amp up your relationship, or maybe you're looking for something that's exciting, so you cheat. But then, from before you even cheat, can't even tell the other person that you're getting bored, that maybe there's something that you should be doing, or this is no longer working. So you result in so many other reasons. So I think pretty much most of the time people break up because we can't be honest with each other. Now, when you say they fell out of love, I don't think they fell out of love. Maybe it's no longer romantic love. Maybe it's something different. Maybe now it's more of a friend, more of a sister, more of a brother, and not a romantic partner anymore or romantic love anymore. But then it all boils down to it's so hard to communicate what we feel, and it's so hard to say what we feel. It's so hard to be honest. We don't talk about breakup so much as we talk about falling in love. It's the same thing as we don't talk so much about death. And I think the reason why we easily got burned out with the whole pandemic is that we were confronted with the one thing that we didn't want to talk about, how short life is, and that death is something that wouldn't really change in this world. It's something that we can't eliminate. And it still is pretty much a very dark area. It's not even gray. It's a very dark area because we scientifically we know what happens, but we all want something else to be there after. Breakup is something like that too. Well, it's a death of a feeling. We all know what's gonna happen, but we don't really pay attention to a lot of different things. Now, when people would tell you to focus on yourself in a breakup, honestly, the person who told you that doesn't even have a clue on how you should focus on yourself. But before we go to how to deal with that, let's talk about what leads to breakup. Now, in the previous episode, I said that, now that you've progressed, there might be two ways that it will go. It will continue and evolve into something higher, or it might lead to breakup. But hear this, in a breakup, it doesn't always mean that love is already out of the picture. Sometimes love had just really evolved into something else, into something different from romantic love. And also, that's the reason why it's really important, at least for me. I don't know about you, stranger, but at least for me, to understand these different kinds of love. Because now maybe our relationship isn't romantic anymore, but it could be friendship. Honestly, when I was younger, I never really thought that I could be friends with anyone that I had been in a relationship with, because I always thought that I would gravitate towards the romantic feeling. But it isn't true. I mean, the memories are going to be there, and they're happy and whatnot, and they're special, and they would always make you feel a little giddy. But that's just a memory. The person that's there in that memory is no longer the person that I know now. They're technically two different personas. They may not even really look the same. So I have to adjust my lenses and see it for what it is. They still want you in their lives. Probably that's why they're reaching out and they want to be friends, not in a flirty way. Um, they still want you in their lives. Uh, Maybe now it's not really romantic anymore, but more platonic. They still care for you. I mean, it's all true. When people break up and they tell you that they still care for you, that is still true because you've spent so much time with that person. And even if it wasn't so much time, say it was just a week, if you've invested so much, right? I don't think anyone should judge anyone and say that couldn't be love. It could be love. Who are we to judge anyway? It could be love. Maybe that person just really invested what they have. Maybe they weren't really playing any games, just like what most of us would be doing in the first few parts of a relationship. Maybe mind games is not their thing. Maybe they really gave you their heart, you know? There's really no way to know or no way to prove that. It's very subjective, but we can't really judge. Um and when they say that they still care about you since they invested on you, whether you like it or not, it is still true. They do care, but now they just don't care in a romantic way. They care in a platonic way. Or sometimes I don't want to say that even worse, but sometimes even better. They love you as a sister or as a brother. Now, we can't certainly say for sure unless you ask that person and you clarify. And I don't even know how honest that person can be with you to tell you, rather, exactly what's going on inside their brain. We can guess, we can analyze the way that they've acted after the breakup, but that's it. Honestly, if there's anything that I've learned recently, it's I don't really know what's going on inside the other person's head. I don't know what they feel. I can speculate. I can go to YouTube and, watch all of these. Why did he break up with you? Why did she break up with you? How can you get your ex back? What do they really feel about you? Kind of things, from tarot readings to Matthew Hussey and whatnot. We can't generalize people. We will be different from each other. And all of these things that we find as resources online, They're there to help us make sense. They're there to help us put logic into things. They're there to help us understand what's going on, maybe, but they're not absolute. There really isn't any way that we would know what the other person is thinking. And to be honest, it had been such a challenge for me to actually accept that, like, because I've always been afraid of the things that I don't know. And for me to now accept that it's a reality that I don't really know what the other person thinks, no matter how much psychology I put in, no matter how much criminal minds profiling stuff I put in. There's just really no way that I would know. So, as the other person on the other line, I could just really hope and then focus on myself or provide some logical explanation that I can accept. This is the part where you create your own reality. Honestly, I don't think people understood the way that I reacted when the separation with the ex-husband happened. And I know that silently people were judging me, and it's really all up to them, honestly. I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I know that a lot of the people, even the closest friends, would have thought that I was in denial because I think nobody really saw me cry except for my parents and my sisters. I was about to cry, but then I don't think it's just really my style to do that in front of other people, not even when you make me drink a lot. I don't think I would. A lot of people might have thought that I was in shock. That's why I wasn't really putting out any emotion or whatnot. No, I don't think I was in any of those states, honestly. I just really, although I felt like I needed to reach out to other people, but also I just felt like I would need to process certain things on my own. I was honestly more worried about the stigma of being separated. And I was also more worried about the costs of the annulment. And I am going to be very honest about that. Um, and of course, I was more worried about some safety issues. And I was also more worried about me. The biggest thing that I have to deal with the separation is that at that time I was already 35, and I had to start over again. But 2.5 years after that, I'm doing well. I'm I'm okay, and I've gotten through it. There's nothing easy about breaking up with someone. And there's really no good way to do it. I'm bad at relationships. And one of the reasons with that is because from the onset of the relationship, I'm already calculating the 101 ways of how it's gonna end. I am putting too much time overthinking about the way that I want people to stay with me. And I am too scared of losing people. Why am I too scared of losing people? I'm not really afraid to be alone, but just because you've invested time with them or anything like that, or yeah. I'm just really scared of losing people because when I get close to the person, not only I invest my time, my effort with that person, it's because I really share a part of me with that person. So I'm I'm afraid of losing somebody who knows the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly in me. And I'm always at that defense of what if, or question rather, what if I won't find anybody like this person ever again? And that's both for um, romantic and sometimes with friends. And also, that's the reason why I don't really take time to fall in love because most of the time, whatever I'm doing in a relationship is more narcissistic. Really, that's really hard to admit, but yeah, than actually focusing on making the relationship better. Yeah, now you know. But no, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna be emotional or anything like that. If you're thinking that this is the time that it's gonna be, no, no, you're wrong. It is. It's really fun to be talking about these kinds of things because as I'm talking about it, there's so many things that I am also realizing. Yeah. Okay. Breakups. Breakups are never easy. I don't know about you, stranger, but I don't think I've ever broken up with anyone. But as I was reflecting, I kind of realized that I push people to break up with me because I don't have the heart to break up with anyone. And then once I push them and they do the deed, I feel really bad about it. So I spiral down for a couple of days. Um, and I thought I've really gotten good with it. But the reality is, I just learned when the hardest part would be, and I just learned how to deal with that part. I was never good at it. I just had workarounds on how to deal with those really, really hard days following a breakup. So, honestly, I've only known, um, or maybe this is my way, I would put it better this way. My interpretation of focus on yourself after the breakup isn't keeping myself busy. What I've learned is that, and this is what works for me, I don't know what worked for you, but you can try it, is to understand how my physical body reacts to it. Yeah. So I'm always afraid of getting hurt because, it's painful. Um, somebody asked me over a dating app, so why are you afraid of getting hurt? I'm like, there's no really philosophical answer to that. It's just because it's painful when you get hurt. And all right, in breakups, your body changes, your brain changes. It can alter those chemicals in your brain, and you feel different weird things physically in a breakup. And it's scientific. You can look for it. It's all over the internet by now. But it's true. And I don't know why people do not really talk about it. Once you break up, because it's a sort of death, it's a sort of ending, your amygdala reacts to that. That's the part of your brain that's responsible for fight or flight mode, you know? And had I known this when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have reacted the way that I did when I was younger. But, we all learn things at different times for different reasons. And maybe I learned it now so that I can share it with everyone. I really don't know the reason, but at least I know now that once I hear that I'm breaking up with you, my brain would go into a fight or flight mode. It's like I want to defend myself. At the same time, I just want to leave because I don't want to feel hurt. It's a fight or flight mode. So um you will do either one of the two. And for us, most of the time, we just really go on a fight mode. So we spew out words that we're not supposed to say. We become very honest, but not with the intention of honesty, but rather with the intention of also hurting the other person who had hurt us, because that's your fight or flight mode, right? That's fight. You're fighting for something, and your brain actually believes that you're in a war, you should win this, and to win this, you should fight. Whatever is winning for you, like winning the other person back, or maybe winning for you means you won the argument. Um, that's your fight or flight mode. It can, of course, create depression because of grief and denial and all of those. And together with that, it can actually give you, I would say, tangible pain. That's my word. Not something that you can touch, but you can physically feel. Like you're gonna have a surge of headache. Your heart's going to palpitate. There would be parts of your body aching that you don't even know why. Like after a night of crying, you feel so weak the next day. And then your heart actually literally suffers the most. Scientifically, it suffers the most because it strains, since there is such adrenaline going in your body from the fight or flight mode that you're getting. It needs to pump more, so and then you also get like shortened breaths, and it's so hard to take in a deep breath, and your lungs, your heart, they literally have to fight for it. Depending on how heavy that breakup is, it can actually change your brain chemistry. It can numb down, or it can burn. How do I say that? It can burn some nerves depending on how much chemical is going on in your brain. And it can alter your tolerance for pleasure and happiness. It can raise it up, it can make it so sensitive. It literally change you physically. Your brain change you. And so it's either it goes into a mode where you're shutting down everybody, or it goes into a mode where you're craving for what you lack. It's either that or the other part. Um Nobody likes being rejected, and that's the truth. Nobody likes being rejected. And rejection is a part of a survival instinct, because in the times of your cavemen, if you get rejected from a tribe, it means being cut off from food and shelter and everything else. Plus, we are wired to feel like we want to belong, right? Also, breakup is a dark place, um, because we don't understand what's happening, really. Breakup is a dark place because you don't understand a lot of things. That is true. Um, After a breakup, your brain would want to look for answers because you're going to have a lot of questions. And you will feel like every thing is not real, or you're going to be in that state of shock and in denial where it's going to be hard to process certain information. um that rush, your body would crave for it. That rush of emotions inside your brain, especially if you had been feeling it for 2 days, on the third day your body would crave for it. And so you feel a lot of things that would make you uneasy. You'd be so sensitive to a lot of different things that even a song or the smell is easily triggered. You're going to be very, very sensitive to a lot of things. You're going to have like frequent headaches. Um, you don't want to stand up from your bed. And anything that people would tell you, they don't make sense. You know why it doesn't make sense? Because that's not where your brain is currently focused at. So when people would tell you, you're gonna get over it, all you have to do is to do this, to do that, these are the steps on how you can deal with your breakup, they all don't make sense after a breakup or once you receive the news, because your brain is still looking for an answer. It still is focused on that moment as to why it needed to happen. Your brain would now try to string the patterns of things, whether they make sense or not, whether they fit your story or not. You're gonna try to twist it. Your brain is trying to it will try to mold those little events in your life that may have led to your breakup just to make sense of what's happening now. I think we were taught that we can't let go of certain things if they don't make sense. That's the only time that we can accept. But I also learned growing up and experiencing breakup and experiencing pain that when you embrace it, when you let it feel it, and yeah, what's that Disney movie about emotion, that every emotion is important, that you have to be aware of those emotions and let yourself get through it, else you're gonna have like a mental breakdown. You're gonna crash, just like that kid in that movie, in that animated movie, when she lost sadness and joy, right? She crashed. If we don't see it, if we don't feel it for it, it's gonna be harder and it's gonna linger longer, and we're gonna stay in that position. And even if we thought that we've moved on, we didn't. And I guess all of the other things would come in there if you let yourself feel it. Forgiveness would come in, logic would come in. Slowly your brain would be dislodged of any bad memories. You will start to unlearn things. All you have to do is to be prepared for it and recognize the things that you need help with and recognize the things that are happening with you. It's just like being in a storm. You know? Sometimes it would catch us off guard and we're out. We don't have an umbrella. We can either go through the rain and risk getting sick, or you can look for a place to shelter you and wait for the rain to stop and then find your way home, which would be a lot easier and you're not risking anything. Breakup is pretty much like that. You can risk of having more pain, dealing with more pain. Now, so I said that I think or in my own interpretation, when they tell you to focus on you, it's not really to start a new hobby or anything like that or get your mind off things. In my interpretation, it literally is focusing on you, being able to recognize what you're feeling at that moment. You feel like crying? Go ahead. Nobody can feel what you feel. If the other person can't be honest with you, then at least be honest with yourself that you're sad. And I only learned that with my own separation. When people were telling me that I should be sad or I should be crying, I didn't feel like it. So I didn't. And recently, something had happened and I felt like I wanted to cry. Then I cry. I was watching Mamma Mia and it made me cry. No shame. It's weird, but it did. Um, Breakup is never easy. So if you're going through one, sure, watch all of those how to move on videos, read all about them. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, you have to process what you feel. I'm, and I'm telling you this, and I'm not even good with processing my own feelings. If writing gets it off you, then write. If talking to a friend gets it off you, then talk to a friend. If making a podcast about it is better, then do it. Go on YouTube. Post things that you want on Facebook. Just make sure that you don't post anything that you'll regret later. Remember, the internet remembers everything. If your brain is still looking for some logic as to why it happened, let me tell you, honesty is a luxury. And sometimes, no matter how you drill down the other person, they're never gonna give you the real answer. Remember that that's also a person. They're also afraid of something. We're all gonna go into some kind of self-preservation. And I saw this from a video. I can't even remember which video was it. That the only way you can live in your own reality. Accept that there are certain things that you wouldn't know about the other person. Again, no matter how much psychology you know, no matter how much behavior pattern you can do, that can only give you so much explanation. But unless the other person tells you the reality of what really happened, unless the other person can be so honest with you, then honestly, you'll never know. We will never know. And that's when you get to create your own reality, your own version. You don't have to tell anybody about it. You can just tell that to yourself. And in a breakup, it doesn't always mean that you have to be angry with the other person. It doesn't always mean that you have to curse them or say bad things about them. No, that's not a protocol. Sometimes things are they are. And it doesn't mean that they broke up with you. It doesn't mean that they don't love you anymore. It could be now they love you as a friend, they love you as a sister, or maybe you just really need time off to think about what's good for you, to think about how you two can love yourselves better so that when time permits, you can. I don't think you should resume what you've cut. I would say you would start a new story. Because if you do want to get back with someone that you have broken up with, I don't think it's healthy to think that it would resume your previous story. Because with resuming that, it means you're still expecting that you would be the two same persons as you were before. You have to understand, if you're resuming a relationship with the other person took time for themselves. They have changed. Whether for better or worse, they have changed. And that's a part of the deal that you have to also take in consideration. For a very long time, I always thought that second chances are never a thing. Well, for me, I made it all logical. I give myself 3 to 6 months trying to win back that person. If I don't get any results, then a second chance is not something for us anymore. That's a clear message that you don't want me in your life. And if one day you send me a flirty text, I just know that you're bored. We can be friends, sure, but it's gonna be no more than that. But if there's something that happens within the 3 to 6 months that I've been investing, then sure, that is something up for consideration for a second chance. But that's just really me, and that's just how I see the logic in things. Of course, it would be also different for you and the way that you would deal with it. Well, the first part, we almost only talk about the person who's hurting. How about the person who broken up with the other person? So long as you're honest, and so long as you did not prolong, so long as you did not give yourself the chance to cheat, that's fine. And even if you did all of these things and you decided to leave, you know, the only saving grace that you would have would be to come clean and be honest. Don't leave the other person in the dark. That's the hardest and saddest part of all. That's the most painful. I wouldn't say that nothing would be changing on the part of the person who had broken up. For sure, they would also feel pain. They know what they're doing, they understand what they're losing. Well, I'm hoping that they understand what they were losing, because sometimes they really don't. Well, if a breakup happens, it can also be a good thing, because it could be saving you from something that's worse. You won't realize that now while you're hurting, whether you're the one who broke up with the other person or you're the one who's being broken up with. I've seen a lot of people where the pain was equal because both of them knew that they're on the losing side and no one's winning. But for some weird reason, it has to be done. At the end of the day, you're both people. You're both humans. You both have feelings, emotions, brains, amygdala, the heart, and the lungs. You breathe the same air. So give them the same consideration as you give yourself, no matter which end you're on. So there, and then you can start going to YouTube and learning more on how to deal with the other things. But you start with focusing on yourself in a literal sense. Be aware of what's going on in your brain. Recognize thoughts and emotions. Be present with the way that your body's feeling, physical pain and whatnot. That's where you can all start. Actually, once you get past that, it's easier to move on, because without you really realizing or noticing, you're more focused on yourself, and you would want to start loving yourself and protecting yourself from anything or anyone that might harm you. And you would start assessing risks as well. Like, is this kind of hurt worth the risk? Anyway, I hope that you learned something today. We don't really talk much about breakups, but we have to brave through it and learn more about what's going on when, you know, romantic love ends. We're gonna have a happier episode after this one because it is the transcendence of a romantic love or any of the kind of love that we have talked about. It's the deeper kind of love. Then again, let me just remind you that it doesn't mean that you broke up. It did not evolve into something deeper. Sometimes it's the whole reason why people break up. Because I think when you start falling in love, that's when people start panicking. I guess that's because you literally feel like falling and you don't know if something's going to be there to break your fall, if you know what I mean. So let's talk about that in the next episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I'm sorry if this podcast or episode is a little bit delayed for today, but I'll see you next time. Send me a voice note, send me a voice message if there's anything that you want to include in the in the future podcasts. And follow me on Instagram. That's Lilith Star without the A. Where we can update each other and you can tell me what kind of podcasts you want to hear. Write to me, please. I would love to hear from you in any way. That's leenotegami@gmail.com. And I will let my outro do the same, do the next part for me. Thank you so much, stranger, and I hope to see you next time. My name is Lee. This is the Decapitated Thoughts. Hey there, stranger. Do you agree with what we have talked about today? Did you learn anything? Do you have a friend who might need this advice? Hmm, if you agree to all of those, don't miss an episode. Add this to your playlist and send this link to your friend. It was awesome having you today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Lee, and this is Decapitated Thoughts.